All right, everybody. Game's over, and it did not go the way we were hoping, but that's okay. That is all right. Luckily, we're still going to be in the tournament, so it's nothing to panic about. It's just a little unfortunate. That's all. While people are coming into this one, I'm pulling up the game stats. All right, so the final score, if you did not see, is 62-63 Florida, and unfortunately that means that we've not won in Gainesville in basketball since like 1996, something like that, 95, 96. So that streak continues. The good thing is it was a close game, and it seems like all of our road games have been close like this, or most of them, especially the last 3 or 4 games. I was talking about the last 3 road games. Now I'm talking about the last 4, including this Florida game. We've had 2 losses on the road in the past 4 road games and 2 very close games. The 2 losses, one was to Arkansas, and now we have one to Florida. The 2 wins we had were against Georgia. We won by 2 points, and Missouri, we won by 1 point. I think what's frustrating with this game is we had plenty of opportunities to win it. And late in the game, we had multiple opportunities. We had one situation where I think Kessler was on the line and he missed 2 free throws. Well, those 2 free throws would have won us the game. We had a very bad decision by Wendell Green at the end, in my opinion. I don't know what that play was or what he was trying to do, but it was very poor decision making. He did not look calm. He did not look like he could handle the pressure, and you saw what happened. He was all over the place, didn't even take a shot. What happened? We ended up losing the game. Anybody in the stream right now, if the music's too loud, let me know. I just wanted to listen to something while I talk. So if it's distracting, let me know. But otherwise, I just want to talk through this game with you guys. If you want your comment up on the screen, please make a comment, and I will look through those and post some of them up on the screen in just a minute. Going through some of the stats real quick. Jabari Smith, so here's something to keep in mind. The previous game against Vandy, Jabari Smith had his all-time best game with 31 points. Before that, his best game was 25 points. Do you know how many points he scored in this game? 28. This was his second best performance. 28 points. Unfortunately, we did not have enough people behind him who did well to get the win in this game. All right, Cam, told you our guards play is going to kill us. They're too wild with the ball. They shoot first instead of getting the team involved. And you're 100%, Cam. We saw wild play from some of our guards. We saw Katie Johnson with some wild plays. There's a couple of wild passes that made no sense. And then you saw Wendell Green at the very end with some very erratic and wild play. And when we had like 7 seconds left, or however many seconds we had at the very end, I do not understand why we did what we did. It made no sense. I did not want us to shoot a 3. I really wanted us to take it to the hole. But why on earth was that how we chose to end the game? Based on that, I would have rather we had shot a 3, honestly. Because we at least we would have gotten a shot off or something. I told you guys to look at a couple of stats for this game. Because if there's one stat in particular, I told you that if we were able to win this stat, we would win the game. And we had control of it up until the second half. And that was the 3-point percentage. I told you that if Florida was going to win, they had to beat us from behind the arc. And that's exactly what happened. Auburn shot 5 of 14 3-pointers. 5 of 14 for 35.7%. Florida shot 25 and made 10 of them. So they made twice as many twice as many 3-pointers as we did, and for 40%. And that ended up being the difference in the game. I told you that's how they were going to beat us, and that is how Florida beat us this game. Some other notable stats. Florida had 8 steals to Auburn's 5. We lost the turnover battle with 17, and Florida only turned over the ball 11 times. Positive note, I will say, is that we're actually shooting our free throws pretty well. We had 0 free throws in the first half, but in total, I guess we took a ton in the second half, 17 of 20 for 85%. So we're actually improving in the free throw game, and that is something that we've needed for a lot of the season. Unfortunately, our 3-point game is still way off, and we did not look anything like we did in the Vandy game. Envision, thanks for coming in, buddy. We were struggling on offense, no doubt. That was evident. It was very evident in the first half. And I thought when we came out to such a strong second half, I mean, we had Jabari with like 8 points in the first couple of minutes. I thought that was going to be the story of the second half. It did not end up that way. We had a very strong start, and then we just struggled. Cam, also Jabari got fouled on half his jump shots. No doubt Bruce Pearl lost this one. Also, Jabari had 28 points and didn't see the ball at the end. Wish we had just realized Jabari's really good in giving the ball. I mean, that's what we've got to do. We've got to give Jabari the ball. He's scoring the points, so why take the ball away from him? Welcome to the party, Peyton. Yeah, this one was unfortunately, it ended how it started. We ended the first half down by 1 point, and we ended the game 1 point down. We both scored exactly 41 points in the second half, and the difference in the game was that 1 point. I mean, Kessler, if he made those free throws, they're free throws. Nobody's guarding you. You just have to make them. You can't miss both of your free throws. Tough loss, but it was a good Florida team. I agree with you. It was a good team. This was a game I was worried about, mainly because of the place and because of how we played on the road. And I'm not convinced we're a good team on the road yet. We're just not. We're a great team. Don't get me wrong. We're a great team this season, but we are not a good road team. We continue to struggle. The wins we get are uncomfortably close. We're very uncomfortably close. And today was no exception. Unfortunately, it was uncomfortably close the wrong way, and we ended up losing the game. Everybody, I'm taking this one a little slower. I'm not trying to rush through everything. So just hang out. Let me know if you throw a comment in. I'll try to get to it. Envision. I'm camping in Gainesville. I don't even know what camping's like this time of year in Florida. I guess the weather's pretty decent. Oh, well, I guess I should ask you this. Does that mean you went to the game, Envision? If so, what was the atmosphere like in the game? Pate, did you know my mom went to Florida? My dad went to Auburn, so I didn't really care who won, but it was a good game. So you got that split family. Split family, so you have the split allegiance on teams. And eventually, though, Pate, you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to make a choice. You've got time right now. I'm assuming. You got to make a choice, man. Choose your team. Let's see if they already got the highlights out. Oh, this was a good. I'm going to see if I can show a few highlights in just a second. Ernest, thank you for jumping in. You got to put the ball in the best player's hands or drive to the basket and be aggressive. And we did not see that in the last 10 seconds, last 7 seconds of the game. We should have either gotten the ball to Jabari or we should have gotten the ball to somebody who could make a shot. But Wendell was not the guy. I'm not trying to trash Wendell or anything. But Wendell did not need the ball in those last 7 seconds. And Florida's not, I mean, they're not that great. They're really not that good. I hate we lost this game. They've lost 10 games. This Florida team has lost 10 games. So I can't sit here and pretend like it's a good team. I honestly think it comes down to Florida wanted to win this one more than we did. We don't play good on the road, but Florida winning this one possibly put them in the tournament. They might need one more win, but they have a lot more on the line than we do. I think this game will hurt us a little bit, but they wanted to get in the tournament. We're already in it. We got nothing to worry about. Yeah, we'll bounce back. It's not, I mean, this isn't like, good thing about basketball, this is not like football. It's not like it's going to ruin our season or anything. We've done already what we need to do to get to the tournament, but we've got a lot of stuff we've got to clean up because the kind of play we saw today is not going to be acceptable if we want to make it to the Final Four. We want to make it to the final round. This is not going to work. Why does Jabari not get the ball? I guess they thought he was scoring too many points. 28 was too much. I really don't know. Ernest, 18 TO. You're talking about turnovers? Let me pull that back up. I'm saying we had 17 turnovers. Where are you seeing 18? 17 is not much better. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, we had far too many turnovers in this game, and it's just not acceptable, and it's not going to work. Bryson, that's the second time we've given it to Wendell at the end of the game. Someone needs to tell him he's not the best player on the floor. I don't get it. I don't understand why we gave it to him. Instead, he's not our clutch player in those situations. And when the game is on the line like that, you give it to your clutch player. You get it to Jabari Smith. There should have been maybe 1 to 2 passes to get it to Jabari, and that should have been the plan. Couple of passes, get it to Jabari, let him take that last shot. Because out of everybody, he is our best shooter. So I don't know. And he's also good under pressure, let's be honest. Jabari or KD needs the ball, and we got to figure out how to get more production from the 3 position. 100%. Envision. So you're down in Florida. They were sold out of tickets, but we were tailgating outside the arena, and we could hear the crowd. I couldn't imagine the noise inside the arena. It sounded loud on TV, so I can't imagine actually being there. Can we talk about that pass from Flanagan that went into the stands? Was that from Flanagan or was it from KD Johnson? I know exactly which one you're talking about. I thought there was one from KD in the first half maybe, and he threw it and it went back across half court, and I think it went into the stands or maybe into the press area. Julian, if we give Jabari or KD the ball in the Arkansas or Florida game, we win one of those. 100%. 100% we do. Okay, so thank you, Cam. So both of them had one. So Flanagan and Katie both threw one of those wild passes. And Ernest, you said the same thing. Both of them did it. I don't know what that was about. Just some wild plays, some erratic playing from some of our guys. And when we're seeing that, those are not the guys that should be getting the ball. The plays we're referring to were not at the end of the game, but that erratic play from Wendell that's at least 2 games now where he's gotten it at the end, and we've not won that game. I can't remember how UConn ended. Oh man, these games get my blood pressure up. What you got, Cam? Once again, we ended the game with 3 timeouts. Did we seriously end the game with 3 timeouts? Didn't Bruce, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Bruce Pearl make a comment in an interview he did a couple of games ago where he admitted that he was not managing his timeouts well. He was not being a good manager of those timeouts. I feel like that happened after one of the games, and I don't remember who was interviewing him or who he said it to. It may have been the interview he did with the War Report, or maybe the ESPN crew. But one of those guys that he talked to, I know he said something about not managing his timeouts well, and if we lose the game by 1 point and we left 3 timeouts out there, I don't know. We could have managed that a little better. P.S. Savage. It'll be fine. I'm not going to let this game get to me, but if we lose in the tournament or something, if we lose in the tournament, that'll get to me huge. This one's not, I mean, it's not a great feeling when you lose a game. This one's not the end of the world. That's what I mentioned earlier. We're still in the tournament. We still got the SEC tournament ahead of us. None of that's messed up. So while this loss is not fun, and while losing by 1 point is really not fun, it doesn't really change anything for us. It could change, potentially it could change our placement in the tournament as far as brackets go. But I don't think this one game will do that. I think we still have a few more games left. And if we had a rough end of the season and lost a couple of games, that'd be a different story. But with this one loss, I don't think it's actually going to change anything for Auburn. The flip side is that it's going to change a lot for Florida. Florida now is either going to be in the tournament or they're 1 win away from being in the tournament. For sure, if they beat Auburn. So now for sure, if they beat Arkansas or Kentucky, they're going to be in. But there's still a possibility with this 1 win. It might be enough to push them into one of the lower tiers or one of the lower seeds in the tournament. And Envision, thank you for confirming that. We ended with 3 timeouts. Good grief. And yeah, we definitely want this top seed. We don't want to lose it. It's a huge advantage if you get that top seed. It's the easiest route to get to the Sweet 16, and we don't want to lose that option. So we've got to get pretty close to winning out the rest of our games. I think we do need to win out, but at least pretty close. Cam, I get mad losing to teams that are not good at all. We've got problems to fix with our guards. I hope Bruce sees it. It's as obvious as it gets. I don't know how you can watch the game and not see that. There's no way. It's just completely obvious. And dude, Bryce, I don't know what you keep doing this about. Anyway, but no, you can't watch that game and not think that we have a problem at guard. All right, PS Savage, what you got? I don't know who you don't go to. What? I don't know who you don't go to, Jabari Smith, or why. I bet it's why. I don't know why you don't go to Jabari Smith these last late games. We got to fix that stuff if we want to win the ship. We absolutely do. 100%. Your lack of the 3 ball is a concern. Florida play the game to their pace. When Walker is in foul trouble, Auburn struggles. Yeah, anytime that Walker gets in foul trouble, so he got to I think 4 fouls. So as soon as he got to his 4th foul, we saw a change in gameplay. He got pulled for a while, but even when he came back in, he's playing different. And somewhere, I think somebody can tell me in the chat. I think it was either right before or right after. I think it had to be after his fourth foul. He got a chance to go to the line, and that's when he missed two free throws that would have either one, tied it if we made one, two, won it if he made both. Ernest. If not Jabari, then give it to KD. We know all too well that he isn't settling for a jump shot with 7.5 seconds. I would have felt a lot better, win or lose, if we would have attacked the basket 100%. I wish we would have had somebody going straight for the basket. That's what I think everybody expected to see. It's what I expected to see. I did not want us to take a three-pointer. Unfortunately, at this point, I would have taken the three-pointer over what we saw because we didn't even get a shot off, and it was just a very lackluster finish. At least we could have gone to the hole, taken a shot, something. But what we saw from Wendell, it was just, I don't know, just kind of blah. P.S. Savage. And the year was good in the Final Four. We were a top 3-point. Yeah, we were. We were a top 3-point team. The offense is starting to worry me when we're going to have to face these high-powered teams like Kentucky and others. So what he's referring to, if you've not been in here the whole time, our 3-point shooting was pretty pitiful. We attempted 14 3-pointers and only made 5, while Florida attempted 25 and made 10. So we scored 15 points off 3-pointers, and Florida scored 30 points from behind the arc. We've got to improve on that. All right, Wilson, regular season doesn't matter. It's the turning. 100%. Regular season doesn't matter right now. It matters to the point that it gets us in the tournament, and where it does matter is the seed that we're going to get. We do want to keep our top seed. So this loss, it's not something where we're saying, oh no, our season's over, something like that. We just want to make sure that we do enough to keep that top seed. We want to get one of those 4 number 1 spots because it is the easiest path to the Sweet 16. We've still got to do the work, to get through to the final game. But I don't think there's anything wrong with us wanting the easiest path to get there. The team still has to work hard, but let's get every advantage we can to get to the championship. All right, Cam, I was hoping we went to a 2-3. We were getting in foul trouble, and it would have kept Appleby Kid out of the lane. Yeah, that would have been a good option, but here we are. P.S. Savage. We're a one-dimensional offense that ain't good. Jabari is going to have to carry us with his greatness, and that's what's been happening, especially in the past 2 games. There have been a couple of games where Jabari has struggled. There was one game, I think it was the Missouri game, where Jabari scored like 5 points maybe. And outside of that, he's been the all-star that we expected him to be. He's been the MVP for a lot of games, him and Kessler. And in this game, he, or against Vanderbilt, he had his all-time best game at Auburn with 31 points. And today was actually his second best game with 28. Previously, before the Vandy game, 25 was the most points he'd scored. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Castleton, I thought he was pretty good, but he was much better, or he at least looked a lot better than what I was expecting. Kessler, I think, is the best in the SEC at his position, and I'm not sure why we had so much trouble with Castleton, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Castleton was the best player on their team. No, I'm wrong. Second best. Appleby scored 26 points, and Castleton was 19. So he was the second leading scorer on Florida's team. He had 8 rebounds, and if we compare that to Walker Kessler only had three rebounds today and 11 points. So he had a subpar game for himself because he usually scores a little more than that. But with Jabari scoring 28, that really should have been enough to win the game. Whoops, skipped one. Envision. I will say, when there was about a minute and 20 left in the game, my adrenaline was like off the roof. Man, I'm still coming down. Like, I still feel the stress in my neck on this one. We went from, I thought the game was over, I thought we had no chance, to it was just not back and forth, but back and forth in me thinking we can win this one, we can't, we don't have a chance. And then I think KD scored the basket that got us within one, and it was crazy. So I was right there with you. My adrenaline was absolutely through the roof. Leighton, with this loss, we will probably be the top 2 seed for the tournament. I hope it doesn't drop us. It could. I really hope it doesn't drop us, though, because if you look the other, I mean, think about it. Doesn't Gonzaga have like 4 or 5 losses? And they're number 1, something like that. I think they have quite a few losses, and this is only going to be our 3rd loss. So I hope it doesn't drop us. PS Savage, if we don't get better at these threes, though, I don't see us winning the championship, and I hate to say it. We just need to be better at every aspect of the game, because we need to be prepared for anything that could come at us. And that's the thing with the tournament, is you don't know what you're going to face. And when you're playing those games consecutively in a row, I mean, yes, you have some breaks, but you've got to be prepared for whatever they could throw at you. PS Savage, we are still a game ahead of Kentucky and Tennessee. Exactly. So we are still ahead of them for right now. And we do, we control our own destiny at the moment. If we went out, we're good. Wilson, Wendell did the same thing in that's the game. I said I knew there was another game that this happened in, and it was at the very end. Wendell did the same thing in the Arkansas game today. He has to stop trying to be fancy. It's hurting us. He's trying to do the hero ball kind of stuff, and we've got to stop it. It's not working. And if it's not working, don't do it. Yeah, it might be cute earlier in the game, but when the game's on the line, we don't have time for it. We've got to do something that's going to be either a high percentage shot, or in this situation, you take it to the basket, you try to draw the foul, and then you get a chance to, score 1 or 2 free throws to at least tie it up or win the game from the line. It made no sense why we didn't try to go to the basket. You drive it to the basket, you either make the shot or you draw the foul. That was the play, and we didn't do it. PS Savage, we go to Tennessee soon. That's going to be the toughest road test. Oh, man. When do we go to Tennessee? We can gain a ton of, I agree with you, we can get a ton of confidence if we win that game. But that is going to be a tough road game. When is that one? Leighton, Gonzaga is 22-2 with losses to Alabama. See, that's a loss to Alabama. That's pitiful at this point. Losses to Alabama and Duke, but beat, at the time, top 10 Texas Tech, UCLA, and Arizona. So they do have multiple, at the time, there were good wins. I still think they're pretty decent wins. But losing to Alabama, come on. That's not that good. That doesn't look good. Alabama's lost a ton now. It was a 1-point game. What are you referring to, PS Savage? The game we just watched, the 62-63? Cam, Zepp got a lot of those minutes against Vandy instead of Wendell. He's more calm. I agree with you 100% on that one. 100%. I'm not sure what was up with that. Wilson, I'm pulling for Arkansas right now. They're up 24-23 against Tennessee. Ooh, I'm going to have to pull that up on the side. So Arkansas versus Tennessee. So that would actually help us. So if Arkansas wins and Tennessee gets another loss, that actually helps us quite a bit. P.S. Savage, Alan Flanagan looks like the shell of himself. And I agree with you on that, Savage. Viewer Flanny needs to get involved in this offense. The chemistry is not there. And yeah, see, I'm on board with this. Arkansas needs to win this. It's going to help out Auburn, so I'm all for it. So this is a close one at the half. I think you said 24-23. We need whatever help we can get, because I thought, I had a feeling Kentucky was going to win against Alabama, and they did. But while it's fun to see Alabama lose, it actually did not help Auburn that it happened. Oh, well. And Wilson, thank you. It's on ESPN. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Hey, yeah, can someone tell me real quick, is the music too loud or is it okay? I'm pulling up some other stats at the moment. See, and thank you, Wilson. Yeah, the other crazy thing, some of our guys on the bench, we'd had for a while, our bench players were scoring quite a few points, and now we're just not seeing our guys on the bench score as much as they were. And when we're weighted so heavily on one player, don't get me wrong, I want Jabari scoring as many points as he can, but he's got to get some help. Because then when we get in situations like we saw at the end of the game, there's got to be another player we can go to get some of those points. We should not have been in a situation where Wendell made that play. I still think we should have gone to the basket with Jabari, or I would have taken a jump shot over what we saw. I don't know. I'm trying not to be too salty. I told you, it doesn't matter for a season. It really doesn't. We're in the tournament. It's not going to change anything. Let's go ahead and look forward to where we go next. See, I'll mention we have the Tennessee game coming up pretty soon. I don't think that's our next one, though. We got Ole Miss at home on the 23rd. Okay, so next game is 7:30 on Wednesday, February 23rd, which is 4 days from now. That's actually going to be it's going to take me a little bit to get used to saying this, at Neville Arena, not Auburn Arena. So we'll be at, is it officially Neville Arena now? I'll call it Auburn Arena until I'm for sure. But it will be in Auburn. And then the next game after that, I actually want to try to go to this one. I've never been to this arena. I probably can't get tickets either. All right, Saturday, February 26th at 3 o'clock. Auburn plays Tennessee. That's going to be the game to watch, because if Tennessee loses today, that'll be a good thing. But we need to control our own destiny as much as we can. And this is a huge game that we need to win. So out of every game left on our schedule, there's not that many of them left. We've got 4 games left on our schedule for the regular season. We've got Ole Miss on the 23rd, Tennessee on the 26th. March 2nd, we've got Mississippi State, and then South Carolina on March 5th. It's hard to believe we've only got 4 games left. This thing's going to be over in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The regular season's over. Let me go back to the comments and see what you guys have. All right, let me ask you this. So you saw the end of the game, and I agree with you. You should not shoot a 3 in that situation. I said, and we're talking about the very end of the game with the last 7 seconds. No need to shoot a 3. We should have taken the ball, driven it to the basket, taken a shot, and either made it or drawn the foul. But with what you saw happen, would you have rather seen that or an attempt at a 3 or an attempt at a 2-pointer? because I did not like what I saw. I know the right call is to go to the basket and not shoot a three, but oh well. Leighton, we out-rebounded Florida 38-27. That is surprising to me. Seems like Florida was getting many offensive rebounds. It did seem that way. And Wilson, thank you. We play at home versus Ole Miss Wednesday. Yeah, Savage, we won't lose any home games. I wish every game was at home. Yeah, I mean, we only have, is it one home game left or two? Two. Yeah, so we've only got 2 home games left. That's it. We've got one versus Ole Miss on the 23rd, and then our last home game of the season, regular season, is Saturday, March 5th. We've got 2 road games in the middle at Tennessee and at Mississippi State. I'll update y'all on Tennessee versus Arkansas. Yeah, if it's on, if you'll just pop the score in the chat every now and then, that'd be fantastic. Cam, only good thing about March is they are all on a neutral site. Are you talking about they're all on a neutral site once we get to the SEC tournament? Yes, I think they're all in. It's typically in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena, but I think I saw this year it's in Tampa. Let's see if I can search that real quick. SEC basketball tournament. I want to say I saw it's in, unless it's in multiple locations. Yeah, Tampa, Florida this year. So the SEC tournament will start on March 9th, Wednesday, March 9th, and it will go through the 13th. So the championship game is on Sunday, March 13th, and it's all in Tampa. After that, okay, so this is what I was talking about. 2023, 2024, and 2025, the SEC tournament will be in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. P.S. Savage, I want a mid-range Jabari. No one was blocking that. Yeah, I would have been fine with that. I just hated what I saw for that last play. Viewer, I agreed. Auburn needs a spot shooter. I'd try Berman in the lineup with Jabari. That's an interesting thought. I'm ready for the tourney. It's a whole new season. A one game. Yeah, it is. Look, you want to talk about your 1-0 mentality? That's all the tournament is. The only game that matters in the tournament is the game you're playing at that moment. That's it. Because you have to win every single one. Every single one if you're going to make it to the end and win it all. That's why the tournament's so much fun. There's it's not just a lot on the line. It's everything is on the line. Love March Madness. Whoops, skipped one. If Jabari can get better at driving down a crowded lane, he'd be unstoppable. Oh, 100%. I still would have given him a shot in this game, though. Those last 7 seconds, I would have been fine if he'd gotten the ball and taken a drive. Ever since Auburn came up in 2018, it's been a terrible road team. They always play down to competition. At this point, it's coaching with struggles on the road. Possibly. I feel like there's maybe a little more to it. But we consistently play poorly on the road. Still have a lot of confidence. We should only get better in these losses. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a ton to learn in these losses. And I think Bruce is using these moments to teach the guys. And, we had the one loss really early on to UConn in the Bahamas. And then we had that loss to Arkansas. And he used that as a teachable moment. And the guys all said, it's good to get this loss early on. We can learn from it, all that good stuff. But now we have another one. So the question is, how are the guys going to bounce back from this? Because they've had, they've had everybody telling them how great they are for this whole second half of the season. How are they going to do now? You just lost again. Are we going to bounce back, or is it going to point out some flaws we have in the team? Is it going to point out some things we need to get better at? Because as you saw in the past 2 games, our free throw shooting got exponentially better. It was terrible for a while. And I think some of those close games and that loss against Arkansas pointed out free throw shooting as a flaw. They worked on it, and they've obviously improved. You see that in the percentages. You see it in the stats. So I think this should be the same thing. They should be able to look at this game, see what we messed up on, make some improvements before we get into March Madness. We need to win at Florida soon. I want to break that streak. Man, it's been too long, way too long, 20-something years. Is it almost 30 years at this point? I think it's 95 or 96 is the last time we won. And this has been the story of the season lately. Guards have to start playing better. I think that some of our guards got overly confident with their wild and crazy play, and they think that's how it should be done all the time. And while it can work and it can be exciting, at the same time, it's not consistent. And really what we need from our guards is consistency. We need less of the wild hero ball. We need some more consistency from our guard play. Winning at Tennessee, I wouldn't really look back at these losses because to me, Auburn has the best win in the country against Kentucky. Yeah, I think the Kentucky win's a big one. That's one that we were obviously proud of, but at the same time, I would really like to get a good road win. I really would. Or maybe I should say another good road win. We have a good road win. I would like another one, and the other good road win I would like to get is the one against Tennessee. Love Zepp on defense, but his offense is a liability on scoring. But I love his assist and his control. And that's the thing, though. He does have a lot more poise and control than some of our other players, and I do think we do better when Zepp is in the game as a team. He may not be individually better, but as a team, I think he helps us out. Julian, I'm going to be disappointed if we make the tournament and Jabari or Katie doesn't get the last shot with the game on the line. Look, if we get in the tournament and Wendell gets the last shot, we have not learned from these games. Nothing against Wendell. So if anybody sees this who knows Wendell, nothing against Wendell. But he's had his chances to close the deal, and he has not done it. That's all I'm saying. On the road, when he gets that ball in the last couple of seconds, he can't close it. Tomorrow, Tennessee versus South Carolina is going to be the only women's game I'll watch this year. Actually used to work. This is a while back. I used to work I feel like I say this every stream, but I worked the basketball games, and it was not nearly as exciting as it is now. So I'm glad we've come a long way, and we're actually something we want to watch, because when I covered the games, there were so many empty seats, tons of empty seats. You could go wherever you wanted to in Beard Eves at the time. That arena, I don't even know what that's being used for today. I thought they were going to demo it, but I think it's still there. But when Beard Eves was being used by the guys in like 2007, 8, I think is when I worked there, there were tons and tons of empty seats. Wendell has to learn and get better in these situations. He ain't Steph Curry shooting from the deep. Bruce got to find a way to get drive and lob to Kessler. Okay, what happened? We did not have our. Was it Green and Kessler, that combo where Green would have the ball and he got it to Kessler? That was fantastic. He'd just lob it to Kessler constantly, and that's when Kessler was getting above like 15 points in multiple games. But, you know. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. So he said Beard Eves is being used for the wheelchair basketball games. That's good. I'm glad it's being used. Our offense spacing, that last play was horrible. That whole last play was just awful, completely awful. There was a lot of things we could have done with that last play. What we saw was not what we should have done. Period. Envision, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for watching. I know I've been streaming for a little longer than I planned on. Always good to have you in. War Eagle, buddy. So now from here, we've got Wednesday night. We're going to be watching the Ole Miss game. I will try to go live shortly after that. I don't know if I'll be able to do a halftime again. If I can, I will. But I will definitely try to do a post-game live stream. So thank you guys for joining in this one and sticking around for most of this. I enjoyed it. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like the video, share it, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. War Eagle, guys.